welcome back to Restaurant Operator. I am your host, Sherry Kanzler, publisher of Fast Casual, and today we're going to talk about all things tech, how everything is changing with the different sectors. It's no longer just fast casual or QSR or casual dining. Everything is blurry, and it's because of that tech mentality. And joining me today is Luke from Elo. How are you, Luke?
I'm doing fantastic, Sheriff.
It's so good to have you. Can you give us a quick overview, real quick, your 1 minute elevator pitch about exactly what Elo does, and then we'll get this going on.
I think it's easily summarized that Elo's a platform. We're a platform that's focused on technology and innovation for our operators. And as you look at a platform approach, our technology now spans from the initial introduction or journey to the ordering process, to the make process, to the operations process, the drive-through process, the delivery process. But Elo has created this unique platform approach to ensure that we have a technology option across all of the different use cases throughout a restaurant and of course, many other verticals. And it's our focus. We focus on this area, providing, again, unique innovations with AI, our new steel product for cleanability. We're always thinking about innovation and how to address some of the unique needs of, again, the operator.
So what are some of those unique needs? I'm assuming you guys are really into helping up speed of service, accuracy. Can you give me some specific examples on how you guys are helping different brands?
I think it starts with some of the foundations. And the foundation is, as you said, speed of service. And so many of the brands that are part of the fast casual ecosystem are doing self-order. And it's been around for a while. It's proven. The lift is there, let's say. And it's become so easy to implement now. And I would just almost say it's table stakes in terms of how you're serving your customer. And some of the arguments early on was that, well, not every customer wants to use this or adopt this type of use case. However, I would say it's proven. And we're starting to see formats change really from a design perspective just to be technology ordering only in some cases. But as you go past the ordering process, you get to the make areas, the make lines, and how we're innovating around interactive type bump bars, order management, as orders are coming through multiple channels nowadays in terms of pickup, delivery, timing of orders. This is where the technology in the kitchen has completely ramped. And our new product called the Steel, which is based on our very successful iSeries Android portfolio, the Steel now offers a cleanable option that really provides the durability and flexibility for a kitchen operator. And this goes deeper into how do you manage a fryer? How do you manage some of the core technology or cooking devices in a restaurant? And we're providing technology for those use cases as well. And this spans to time clocks. We're doing when you start to think about the customizations of food, obviously the self-order process opened up this entire menu of selection and capability. And so that KDS, as well as the make order and different stations that you have, we're not seeing pen and paper anymore, folks. It's moving to a digital way. It's streamlining those operations. And then you're starting to see this layer of AI being brought to the table. And the AI is, again, it's incredible in terms of timing of orders, calling out things. We're starting to see camera-based, which would be computer vision-based type technology, which is helping with order accuracy, again, timing. We're even affecting the drive-thrus. So as you start to look at self-order inside of a restaurant or a fast casual environment, the drive-thru to take that same application and deliver that outdoors to a drive-thru or a walk-up type environment, Elo is providing now outdoor displays in those areas.
And when you're talking like self-order, you're meaning like kiosk ordering or mobile app or all of it?
Well, it really becomes all of it. All of those are entry points. And again, I can go, I love what I do. So I could go on and talk about this for a long period of time. So please cut me off here. But as you go through the ordering process, Elo's also brought to market mobile devices with payment. So as you think of line busting, if you think about if the self-order process is, or through kiosks, so you've got a flood of people on game day and you want to bring in a mobile device with payment, this becomes now a true option within that portfolio approach that Elo has taken.
Right, like something like Chick-fil-A's employees coming out and busting the line. So you guys have that capability.
You got it. But think drive-through. Think, hey, you know what? fast casual, we're here for quality of food and the wonderful experience. And if things are getting backed up, customers still want convenience. How can I take my point of sale, which could be dockable, convertible POS, and bring that out to help serve customers in a queuing environment or through a drive-through or in a parking lot? Or, hey, you know what? The brand is a part of the community and I want to bring this to the local fair. How do I pick my POS up and move it to these various environments? And again, this is the flexibility that we've built as a part of our portfolio.
Right. I think it's interesting that you mentioned, the drive-through at fast casuals because when it first started out, drive-through wasn't really a big deal at fast casuals, but it's almost table stakes now and competing with QSR. So can you talk about the crossover you're seeing between, you know, Taco Bell could be a fast casual and Burger King could be a fast casual, but it's kind of all over the place now because of the tech.
Well, and I think you make a great point. The lines are blurring. And as you start to look at the QSR segments and what they've been faced with in terms of providing very expedient services, I would say the fast casual customer, it's more complex for them because of some of the quality of food, the customizations, uh, the diversity of a menu in some cases. And so they're both being affected by this idea of AI and how will technology bring about better service, more convenient options, assist employees, et cetera. But whether it's drive-through, pickup, delivery, whether it's how you're servicing your customers in store, how you're timing orders, they're both being affected by the same challenges. So it's a unique environment.
That's for sure, and I think what we're seeing is the brands that are having the most success are the brands embracing the technology. For example, we just every May we do the fast casual top 100, where we rank the 100 top. It doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest or the largest, but just the brands that are they're leading, getting the most media attention and doing the most for their customers. And I would say almost every single one of those brands is really an innovator of technology, and so you guys, of course, has sponsored that report, and I could see that you have worked with a lot of those brands. So, what are you seeing from some of those winning brands, how they're using self service or shifting toward mobile?
Well, I would just say in general, your top 100 movers and shakers, they're pushing the innovation envelope. They're always hungry, seeking out what's next. They're building out labs. They're challenging the status quo to say what can serve our customers better. I would say that, especially that top grouping there, they're not standing still. They're moving and shaking. And so as you start to look at whether it's a self-order type of experience, that's table stakes. Most of them are already down that path and doing that. But we are, again, and as you mentioned, it's starting to see some of the mobile aspects work their way in. And if I have two registers, or in some cases three, how do I have convertibility for those registers to better serve customers, or remove a tablet or a handheld to go and perform other tasks for productivity? As obviously these operators need to be hyper efficient to be some of the best in the world. And again, as you start to look at kitchen environments, just continuing to accelerate innovation. And this again was where we start to see the AI play coming in a big way. So again, I go back to this idea of a platform approach. And whether it's the mobile front, we do love, and we're starting to see this again, amazing traction, is the mobile with payment type capability, where I can serve the customer where they are versus saying I can take your order, but I'm going to move you over here for payment, et cetera. Is I think it's going to be a big advancement for many. But again, as you start to look at solving the ordering issue, and orders are starting to flood your kitchen, they're coming in from all sorts of channels nowadays. How do you then operate those kitchens? And that is, again, something where we've seen the top movers and shakers here investing in their kitchen environments for throughput, for accuracy, for many different things that, again, provide a better customer experience.
Right. So if those orders are coming in from dine-in and they're coming in from the app and the kiosks and they're coming in from the drive-through and the kitchen is just bombarded with orders from everywhere, how are you guys helping kind of control that kitchen? I mean, how does the cook know when and where to go? Is everything connected? I mean, I would think that would be kind of chaos.
It's managed chaos, I would like to say. And having worked in a kitchen myself, the idea though is that through interactive bump bars, you can get down to a layer of information about that particular order, the needs of that order in a better way. So if you had to click through and learn and understand more, it's no longer just the mechanical bump bar where I'm bumping an order or trying to scroll down. There's a lot of innovation now that's come about because we've moved to interactive bump bars. And the interactive piece is certainly a core of Elo's platform. And with the multiple sizes, whether it's a small 10-inch AI type screen that's managing tasks for the kitchen, or if it's moving into a larger 22-inch that's managing order flow and prioritizing and providing updates and information to the different key make stations and how that's all being timed together. And again, I'm humbled to say that we're not the software provider. I mean, there's some best-in-class software, but their flexibility, because of the interactive components now, they can slow down order processing for new employees. They can speed it up for those pros that know exactly what's going on. They can change language. They can do so many different things because it's now interactive. And I look at your phone as an example. I mean, cell phones used to take phone calls and voicemail. Now they run your life. Imagine now you have a hyper intelligent, artificial intelligent type computer in your kitchen that's sensing things, monitoring things, and helping you manage things that most people wouldn't have caught before.
Right. Well, you mentioned that you're not the software provider, but I do notice that you guys work closely with software providers and the actual restaurants to kind of co-create specific solutions, because I'm assuming not every kitchen is the same. So can you walk through that? I mean, if a restaurant brand comes to you and they say we have drive-thru and we need this, and like how does that process work where you're really honing in on what they specifically need?
And I'm glad you asked this question because we are really proud of this at Elo. But we do believe software leads the deal. And so because we're basically a hardware agnostic type company with this large portfolio and platform, if a customer were to come to us and say, we're trying to innovate around the drive-thru, we would present 4 or 5 different options depending on the problem they're trying to solve, their needs, or you could say kind of a look around the corner to say, what's next and how do we prepare for that? And we have some unique innovations that are already starting to prepare for what's next. Even though the traction might not be there today, we know it will be there tomorrow. But again, the unique aspect of Elo is that we have been operating for over 50 years. We have hundreds of ISVs, depending on the touch point and what you're trying to achieve. And so whether it's a large scale type deployment where there's a lot of kitchen complexity and a lot of, again, different channels that you're operating with, or it's a specific make table type experience and you want to better manage a type of food prep, there's different applications that make the most sense. And we have these relationships to bring them to the table to help serve our customers.
Awesome. So you mentioned AI a couple of times. So let's dig into that a little bit, because I feel like, and I'm sure you might agree, I feel like everybody's talking about AI, and I think a lot of people say it, but they don't really know what it's doing. So can you explain how you guys are actually using AI to move the needle with some of this tech?
Everyone's got an opinion on this one, so I'm going to share
Right.
mine. We're in a generative AI phase, and generative is, yes, we're substituting our brain power for that of AI, and it's answering our questions, it's formulating our responses, it's writing our emails. It's doing a whole lot of things. Not that interested to a point. Obviously, it's going to help with work productivity, but we're talking about restaurants, and we're still using our hands. We're doing physical things. And so where I get excited about AI, and again, I think it's going to influence every aspect of an operator's life as well as the customer. But as I initially walk into a restaurant, I might have an agentic AI experience. And from an agentic perspective, I might just talk to the kiosk like I would talk to a person. And there's already different innovators that are providing this level of service today. Elo is bringing about in partnership a audio component that is beamforming audio that will have a true speaker, microphone, one-on-one relationship with the technology to have this agentic experience. And we do believe that through voice as well as touch, you'll have a complete type ordering process. I know if I go in and I want to order something, but I don't want cilantro or I don't want some other things on my food, it takes me a while in some cases to drill down, or I don't see it, but I know it's on there because I order it all the time. If I could just ask this system to remove it, and it does that, I guarantee you it's going to shave tens of seconds off of a transaction, and in some cases more, it's going to provide a better service from the ordering process. But then you get to order accuracy, and wow, delivery is a challenge for many. And if we used computer vision, not as a, I need to roll out this entire AWS platform. No, I'm saying a small model that runs above a make station that ensures that the KDS, the kitchen display system, aligns with what's being made and what that might be being put in a bag or the toppings that could be added to a particular food. As long as that's accurate, when I deliver that food or someone picks it up to deliver, I don't have to remake it and redeliver it, because those costs oftentimes are somebody else's problem versus the customer, if you know what I mean. And so computer vision is playing a major part there. And again, it's the most frustrating thing when you wait half hour, an hour for food and it shows up and it's not accurate. So that's the computer vision piece. And then you look at the bigger operations side. Now, again, ELO won't necessarily plug into some of these components, but as you look at how operations are managed, all the metrics and data, there's some massive AI crunching now that's on the back end of some of these platforms that are handling that. But as you start going through order accuracy, the initial ordering process, AI, again, will have an influence over all of these. And I personally believe, and I believe this strongly, that don't try to solve or boil the ocean, eat the whale. Just start. Pick a use case, figure out a language model, figure out a partner that you could work with, and just start. That's where I feel everyone should be today.
So how though, I mean, you make it sound easy, but there's a lot of providers out there, and restaurant operators I think are confused with all the different options. So can you kind of give some advice? So maybe a couple of questions that when they're vetting, when these operators are vetting tech partners, what should they really be looking for?
That's a great question. I personally look for things that are packaged. I want something that's done. Now, the world of things that are fully packaged and complete in AI aren't everywhere, right? So there's a lot of bespoke, hey, I can build this for you. Oh yeah, it's just a simple language model. Oh, I'll train the model and we'll do this. And you hear a lot about that. What I'm generally after, though, and the folks that at ELO are really seeking out, are people that can say, here's how it works, here's the ROI that generally can be received, and here's the cost. Because when you get to the bespoke side, and again, many operators will say, well, I kind of want it my way. And the bespoke folks will be perfect for that. But just know what you're walking into.
A lot of
You're going to
money
have,
for bespoke,
you're,
right?
it is money and it's investment. You're going to have to invest your time. You're going to be educating people on your processes, because they might have just left the bank and helped the bank teller through an AI automation project. And now you're going to help them understand kitchen automations and how to train a model to do X and Y. I personally prefer to work with the people that are focused in the industry, because there's a lot of different people. And again, no offense to anyone, but there's a lot of people that are claiming that they're AI experts, and they probably are. But when I think of an AI expert that understands voice and how to do voice interaction for food ordering and its nuances, I only want to work with the partners that really understand that, because otherwise, I'm not just training a model, I'm training the people. I'm training a company how to serve me, and I don't want to start there. I would rather be served, let's say.
I love that. All right, before I let you go, what are we looking at for 2026? What's next for ELO, and what are you most excited about helping in the restaurant space?
Well, I would be naive to say that ELO was recently acquired by Zebra. And so as we start to push towards the end of 2026, we're going to continue to operate as independent companies. But I'm very excited about the overall portfolio now that the combined Zebra ELO is going to bring in terms of their capabilities. Their mobile platforms are incredible. The RFID benefits that they'll now bring to restaurant operators. Think about tags that understand food temperature. They understand various flows of where materials are moving in a restaurant. There's some incredible technology that we're eager to partner on. It's early days. We're operating separately and independently. But I would say towards the end of 26, as we look at a broader portfolio now with the combined ELO Zebra with a focus on restaurants and hospitality, it will be an incredible experience.
Right. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. That'll be very exciting. Thank you, Luke, so much for stopping by. We really appreciate your insight.
As always, a pleasure. Thank you so much.
And to our listeners and viewers, if you're really interested in this automated retail and technology, please, I'd ask you to check out our automated retail and kiosk innovation summit coming up in December in Tampa, where you're going to be able to see a lot of hardware and software applications in our booth space and our trade show space, but also a ton of sessions, educational sessions where you guys can learn all the ins and outs. So thanks everybody and have a great day.